Hi, I'm Scarlett Bease. Welcome to Scarlett Says. Now, I did get a question recently about shoulder pads, and it's really an unusual question because they were very in the 80s, and none of us really wants the 80s to come back for a multiple number of reasons. But sometimes when your hips are wider than your shoulders, you do need to add emphasis to your shoulders to balance out your proportions, because when you're more balanced, then your waist looks smaller, and pretty much that's the goal of all women, to have their waist look as small as possible. So I have a couple of tips for you real quick. You can try to find shoulder pads to put in your clothes, but it's not going to look right. It's going to look too much like you're going back to the 80s. They even tried to bring them back about 2 years ago, and it just didn't really fly too good with the women who were shopping. So I have a couple of tips for you. You can go for some horizontal stripes if you need to emphasize this part of your body. Another really good tip is to get details at the shoulder. Like this shirt, it has a thing on it called epaulets. If you can see that. It's like a little tab, so it adds a little bit more height, a little more structure to the shoulder, and it really does manage to make the shoulders look broader. And when you do that, you're balancing out your hips, you're making the waist area look smaller. So anything that has buttons up there or a pattern up there or the epaulet, which is a tab of fabric up there, that's what's going to help make your shoulders appear wider or straighter. If they're very sloping, you want them to go more this way instead of down, because again, it makes us look taller and thinner when there's more up here. And if you're sloping, it's a little bit out of balance. So try to get details on the shoulder if, in fact, you have sloping shoulders or wide hips. So again, you can do it with pattern placement. You can do it with buttons, details, and little epaulets on top, which is what, like, you know, those soldier uniforms have that all the time. So anything like that will help add more emphasis to your shoulders. And again, I will give you a tip next time about how to de-emphasize your hips, because that's a whole other story, right? So thanks for joining. Please, by all means, email your questions to me. I love getting them. I'm getting lots and lots of ideas of what to do to give advice for you. And thanks for joining me. Remember, Scarlett Says is always here for you. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.